In a quaint, old-fashioned toy store nestled in the heart of a bustling city, there was a doll that no one wanted. The doll was exquisite, with porcelain skin, bright blue eyes, and long golden curls. She wore a delicate lace dress, and her tiny painted lips were curved into a faint smile. However, there was something unsettling about her. Perhaps it was the way her eyes seemed to follow you around the room, or the coldness of her gaze that sent shivers down your spine. The doll had been in the shop for as long as anyone could remember. The owner, Mr. Thompson, was an elderly man with a kind heart and a love for toys. He had acquired the doll from an estate sale years ago, but she never seemed to sell. Children would point and admire her beauty, but their parents always felt an inexplicable unease and steered them away. One stormy evening, just as Mr. Thompson was closing up the shop, a woman in a tattered coat stumbled in. She looked desperate, her eyes wide with fear. She told Mr. Thompson that she was being followed and needed a place to hide. Kind-hearted as he was, Mr. Thompson offered her shelter for the night in the back room of the store. As the rain pounded against the windows and thunder rumbled overhead, the woman couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't alone. She could hear faint whispers, like the rustling of leaves on a windy night. She assumed it was her imagination, a result of her frayed nerves. But as she lay down to rest, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They seemed to be coming from the doll on the shelf. Terrified but unable to resist, the woman approached the doll. Its blue eyes glinted in the dim light, and the whispers became clear. They were beckoning her, calling her name. She felt an overwhelming urge to pick up the doll. As she did, a chill ran through her body. The doll's eyes seemed to glow with an otherworldly light, and the whispers became a cacophony in her mind. The woman tried to put the doll down, but she couldn't move. It was as if an invisible force had taken hold of her. The doll's painted lips began to move, forming words that chilled her to the bone. "You belong to me now," it said, in a voice that was both childlike and ancient. The woman's scream echoed through the empty shop, but no one heard her. The next morning, Mr. Thompson found the shop as he had left it, except for one thing. The woman was gone, and in her place, sitting on the shelf, was the doll. Her porcelain skin seemed brighter, her eyes more vivid, and her smile a little wider. Mr. Thompson shivered but dismissed it as his imagination. He placed the doll back in its spot and opened the shop for the day. That night, as Mr. Thompson was locking up, he heard the whispers. Soft at first, then louder, echoing through the darkened store. He turned, and there she was, the doll, her eyes gleaming in the dim light. The whispers grew frantic, echoing in his mind, and he felt a cold hand grip his heart. He stumbled back, his breath coming in short gasps. The doll's lips moved, her voice a haunting melody in the silence. "Come closer, Mr. Thompson," she beckoned. "You cannot escape me." Through the broken window, he saw the doll, her eyes fixed on him, her smile widening. Mr. Thompson knew he couldn't return to the shop. The doll's power was too great, her malevolence too consuming. He left the city, abandoning the life he had known, forever haunted by the memory of the whispering doll.